for a second. If a woman is genuinely interested in you, you won't be confused about it. The signs will be clear. She'll show up. She'll reach out. She'll invest. But if you find yourself constantly overthinking, wondering where you stand with her, chasing breadcrumbs just to keep her attention, there's your answer. Hey, welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, you're in the right place. If you're a man who's tired of guessing games and ready to understand how female psychology actually works in the real world, not just what sounds good in theory. Today we're diving into a topic that a lot of men don't want to face, but absolutely need to. The unmistakable signs a woman is not interested in you. And I'm not talking about subtle hints or mixed signals. I'm talking about 7 clear, undeniable behaviors that tell you it's time to stop investing in her and start walking away. Here's the problem. Too many men ignore the signs because they're emotionally attached. They keep showing up, trying harder, hoping she'll suddenly see their worth. But the truth is, once a woman has emotionally checked out or never saw you that way to begin with, the harder you try, the faster you push her away. This isn't about being bitter. This is about recognizing the game for what it is and having enough self-respect to step away from a dead end. Because the guy who knows when to walk away, that's the guy who commands real attraction. That's the guy who never settles for being a backup plan. Let's break this down. Because once you understand these 7 signs, you'll stop wasting time and start moving like a man who values himself. 1. She doesn't prioritize you, she fits you in when it's convenient. Let's start with one of the clearest signs she's not interested. You're not a priority, you're an option. A man doesn't need a woman to drop everything for him. But if you constantly feel like you're just being fit in, like you're always chasing her schedule, then the truth is loud and clear. She doesn't value your presence. When a woman genuinely likes you, she finds a way to be available. Even if she has a packed day, she'll communicate, make plans ahead of time, and stay connected. That doesn't mean she has to be glued to her phone or cancel her life for you. But interest shows through effort. And a woman who sees you as someone she wants in her life will show you that in how she manages her time around you. Now here's what happens when she's not into you. She responds to your messages hours later, not because she's busy, but because she just doesn't care enough. She cancels plans last minute or constantly says she's tired or busy, but somehow has time for her friends, Netflix or Instagram stories. When she does agree to meet, it's always on her terms, her time, her location, and her conditions. You're not being respected as a man, you're being tolerated as a placeholder. What keeps a lot of guys stuck is the false hope. She gives just enough attention to keep you around, but never enough to make you feel wanted. You'll find yourself justifying her distance, telling yourself she's just overwhelmed right now, or she's not good at texting. But deep down, you know the truth. If she wanted you, you'd know it. There wouldn't be confusion or mixed signals. There would be consistent effort. This is where men need to be honest with themselves. If you're always initiating contact, planning the meetups, or waiting around for her to respond, you're not in a mutual exchange. You're begging for attention. That's not how attraction works. Real interest looks like investment. She doesn't need to do everything, but she should be doing something. If you've fallen into the pattern where you feel like you're constantly chasing her, it's time to ask yourself why. Why are you holding on to someone who treats you like an afterthought? Why are you pouring energy into a woman who wouldn't even notice if you stopped reaching out? Here's the truth. Women test men all the time. And one of the biggest tests is how you react to being deprioritized. If you keep chasing, she loses respect. If you step back and walk away, she either realizes your value or she proves she never cared. And either outcome is good for you. So don't beg for attention. Pay attention. If she's always too busy, or you're constantly waiting to be squeezed into her life, the answer is already in front of you. And the strongest thing you can do as a man is to walk away with your dignity intact. 2. Her communication is dry, delayed, and emotionally empty. When a woman is truly interested in a man, her communication reflects it. Consistency, energy, curiosity, and effort. You don't have to guess if she's into you. You'll feel it in how she texts, how she calls, and how she engages in conversation. But when a woman isn't interested, her communication becomes dry, delayed, and emotionally disconnected. And this is something a lot of men overlook because they want to give her the benefit of the doubt. Let's break this down clearly. A woman who isn't interested will respond with one-word answers. She'll take hours or even days to reply, and when she does, there's no warmth or excitement behind her words. It's like you're talking to a brick wall. She doesn't ask you questions. She doesn't follow up on anything you said. She's not curious about you, your life, or your thoughts. Why? Because emotionally, she's already checked out. Now here's where most men make a mistake. They try harder, they double text, they send voice notes, they try to be funny or charming, hoping to wake her up and get a better response. But this backfires. All it does is reinforce the imbalance. She sees you as the guy who keeps pushing for her attention while she puts in zero effort. That dynamic kills attraction. This is where emotional awareness becomes critical. A woman's energy in communication is a direct mirror of her interest level. When a woman likes you, even if she's busy, she finds a way to stay emotionally engaged. You'll notice laughter, flirtation, thoughtful replies, and a desire to keep the conversation going. If that's missing, if everything feels like a chore or one-sided, then you're trying to connect with someone who doesn't feel the same way. And no amount of clever messaging will change that. It's also important to understand that some women will keep minimal communication going just to keep you as an option. They'll breadcrumb you, reply every now and then just to keep the door open. It's a way of keeping you around without committing. Don't fall for that. If the connection lacks emotional depth and consistency, don't chase it. Don't try to force feelings that aren't there. As a man, your time, attention, and energy are valuable. You should only give those things to a woman who reciprocates. If you constantly feel like you're pulling teeth to get a decent conversation or basic communication, stop. Don't be the guy who waits around hoping for better messages tomorrow. Read the signals now. Sometimes the most powerful move you can make is silence. When her energy fades, match it. When her replies become cold, stop initiating. Not out of bitterness, but out of self-respect. A woman either values the connection and puts in effort, or she doesn't. And that truth always shows up in how she communicates. 3. She never initiates anything. This one's simple, but powerful. If a woman never initiates anything with you, not a text, not a call, not a plan, not even a conversation, she's not interested. And I mean truly not interested on a core emotional level. Men often overlook this because they're taught to lead. And yes, as a man, you should lead the interaction, but not carry it all by yourself. Interest must be mutual. Initiative is one of the clearest ways a woman shows she wants you in her life. When she likes you, she finds reasons to reach out. She texts you first. She sends something funny. She checks in. She asks to see you. Even in subtle ways, she lets you know, you're on my mind. If you're always the one starting everything, every plan, every message, every effort, that tells you where you stand. You're an option, not a priority. Now here's the dangerous part. Some men confuse consistency with connection. They think that if they keep showing up and putting in more effort, eventually she'll come around. But all that does is train her to expect attention without having to earn it. And once a woman feels that you're chasing her for her time and attention, she loses respect. Think about it. Why would she chase a man she knows will always be there, no matter what she does or doesn't do? You need to stop interpreting her passivity as shyness or being busy. Everyone is busy. If she cares, she'll make time. If she wants to connect, she will. Silence is an answer. Avoidance is an answer. And effort or lack of it is always an answer. This doesn't mean she has to plan elaborate dates or write you poetry. It means she should contribute emotionally. She should reach out at least sometimes. She should show she values you. And if she doesn't, that's not a green light to try harder. It's a cue to pull back and reassess. Many men stay in these lopsided dynamics way too long, chasing women who treat them like a backup plan. They wait for the spark to show up. But the truth is, if it's not there from the beginning, or if it fades quickly, it's not real attraction. You're not building a connection, you're chasing an illusion. Bottom line, if she never initiates, she doesn't feel inspired by your presence. An attraction without inspiration dies fast. A woman who wants you will always find a way to show it, even in the smallest ways. Don't ignore that. 4. Her body language is closed off. Let's talk about what most men miss, what her body is telling you when her words might still seem polite or neutral. You can't fake body language. And when a woman isn't interested in you, it shows. You just have to know how to read it. When a woman likes a man, her body naturally opens up. She leans in. She makes eye contact. She smiles without forcing it. Her tone softens. She might touch her hair, adjust her outfit, or angle her body toward you, even unconsciously. Attraction causes all these subtle signals to come alive. It's not something she calculates. It just happens when she's genuinely interested. Now flip that. When a woman is not into you, her body shuts you out. She crosses her arms. She leans back or angles herself away. She avoids eye contact. Her smile, if there is one, is polite but empty. She looks around the room while you're talking, checks her phone, or physically pulls away if you move too close. These are not small things. They are huge signals. You could be saying all the right things, dressed well, being charming, but if her body language says, "I'm not into this," then that's the truth you need to hear. A woman can say she's busy or just tired, but if her energy is distant and her posture is closed, that's not interest. It's disinterest wrapped in politeness. Some men misinterpret this kind of behavior as shyness or assume she's just hard to get. But women who are genuinely attracted to you, even if they're shy, will still show subtle signs of warmth and openness. You'll feel the difference in the way she looks at you or lights up when you walk into the room. If you're not feeling that energy, stop convincing yourself it's just her personality or mood. The truth is, her body will often tell you the story her mouth won't. A woman who's trying not to hurt your feelings might still go out with you, but if she's stiff, turned away, or keeps physical distance no matter how much time passes, she's not feeling it. Men who ignore these cues often waste time and emotional energy chasing what's already slipping away. Or worse, they think that if they just say the right thing or wait long enough, her body language will change. But attraction doesn't work like that. It's either there or it isn't. And if it's not, you can't talk her into it. So next time you're with a woman and wondering where you stand, stop analyzing her words so much. Pay attention to what her body is telling you. Her energy, her eye contact, her proximity to you, that's where the truth lives. And if she's closed off, don't take it personally. Just take it clearly. Walk away with your dignity and your time intact. 5. She's always busy or cancelling plans. This one's a major red flag and too many men overlook it. When a woman is genuinely interested in you, she'll make time, even if her schedule is packed. She'll squeeze you in, rearrange things, and make the effort because she wants to be around you. That's what desire looks like in real life. But when she's always busy, when plans keep getting cancelled at the last minute or constantly rescheduled to some vague future date, that's not about her being overwhelmed or having a hectic life. That's her silently telling you you're not a priority. Think about it. If a woman constantly replies with, "Let's rain check," or "I've just got so much going on right now," and this happens over and over again, what is she really saying? She's saying, "I have better things to do than see you. Let's walk through a scenario." You meet her. Things seem good at first. She gives you her number, maybe even responds to a few texts. Then when you ask her out, she says, "I'd love to, but I've got a work thing." You try again, same story. A week later she says, "I've just been so tired lately." And every plan you try to set gets pushed off. You start to wonder, am I being too eager? So you back off for a bit. Then she randomly texts something light like, "Hey stranger," and you feel hopeful again. But when you ask her to meet up, guess what? Busy again. It becomes a cycle where she gives just enough attention to keep you hoping, but never enough effort to actually be with you. That's not interest. It's stringing you along. Some women don't like confrontation, so instead of telling you directly, "I'm not feeling this," they'll just delay and distract until you get the hint yourself. But here's the truth. A woman who wants to see you will not leave you confused. She'll respond quickly, say yes to plans, and show excitement about meeting up. Men make a huge mistake when they rationalize this behavior. They'll say things like, she's just really career focused, or maybe she's going through something, maybe. But if she were truly into you, you'd still see her trying. Even in chaos, interest shows up. If you're constantly chasing and she's always unavailable, stop waiting for her to choose you. The moment you stop accepting breadcrumbs and start expecting consistency, you raise your own value. And that alone will either attract her properly or make space for someone who actually wants to be there. Remember this, interest doesn't make excuses, it makes effort. And if she's not making any, you already have your answer. Walk away before you waste more time convincing yourself it's something it's not. 6. She doesn't ask you anything about yourself. When a woman is interested in you, she wants to know you. She's curious about who you are, what you think, how you feel. She'll ask questions. She'll remember little things you said. She'll want to go beyond surface level talk because she's emotionally investing. She's mentally engaging with who you are as a man. But if you notice the conversation always feels one-sided, if she talks about herself a lot but never really shows genuine interest in you or your world, that's not a small detail, that's a signal. It means she's not emotionally connecting with you and probably doesn't care to. Let's break it down. You text her something thoughtful, maybe share something personal. She responds with, "Oh, cool," or switches the topic right back to herself. You tell her about your goals, your struggles, your plans, and she gives you surface responses like, "Nice," "That's good," or worse, "Nothing at all." She doesn't ask follow-up questions. She doesn't seem invested in your answers. It's like talking to a wall that occasionally smiles. Now here's what most guys do wrong in this situation. They ignore it. They keep talking, keep giving, keep trying to impress her, hoping eventually she'll start showing some interest in return. But let me tell you something important. If a woman is into you, you don't need to convince her to care about you. She will naturally want to know what's going on in your world. She'll ask about your day, your opinions, your passions. That's what real interest looks like. It's mutual. And when she doesn't do any of that, it means her mind isn't on you. It means you're not standing out in her emotional radar. Sometimes women entertain conversations just to keep you around as an option. She might respond just enough to stay polite, especially if she senses that you like her more than she likes you. But silence in curiosity, silence in emotional engagement, is a clear sign she's not serious. The biggest trap men fall into is trying harder when they feel neglected. You think, maybe if I open up more, she'll start opening up too. But that's not how genuine attraction works. Attraction pulls effort from both sides naturally. It's not forced. If she's never asking about you, never diving deeper, and never giving you her mental energy, you're just a placeholder, someone to talk to when she's bored or lonely. And that is not where you want to be. You don't need to beg for interest. You need to recognize its absence and move on. Because when a woman does like you, she'll show up in the conversation. She'll make you feel seen, heard, and valuable. And if you're not getting that, walk away. That emotional coldness isn't shyness, it's disinterest. Don't try to thaw it, just move on. 7. She avoids physical contact or affection. This one's a deal breaker, and too many men overlook it or try to rationalize it. Let's get one thing clear. When a woman is genuinely interested in you, physical closeness happens naturally. It doesn't always mean full-on intimacy, but there's a real desire to be near you, to touch you, to feel your presence. Now, if she's avoiding physical contact, pulling away when you lean in, keeping unnecessary space between you, giving you side hugs like you're her cousin, she's not feeling it. That distance is a message in itself. Here's where a lot of guys fall into denial. They tell themselves, she's just shy, or maybe she's taking things slow. Listen, there's a difference between a woman who's pacing the relationship and one who's not feeling you at all, and you need to know which one you're dealing with. Think about it. When a woman is into a man, even the smallest gestures, light touches on the arm, playful nudges, leaning into him during a conversation, those happen without her needing to think about it. Her body language leans in, not away. But when she avoids that contact, When she consistently shuts down any effort you make to create physical closeness, it's not a mystery. It's not some puzzle you need to figure out. It's a reflection of how she sees you. She's putting up a boundary, and not the healthy kind. It's the emotional, don't get too close wall. And if you're paying attention, you'll feel it. That awkward air when you go for a hug and she pulls away too quickly. That stiff body language when you sit next to her. The absence of warmth. You can feel when the energy just isn't there. This doesn't mean you're not a good man. It doesn't mean you're not attractive. What it does mean is that she's not feeling it. And the worst thing you can do is try to force your way into closeness. A man with self-respect doesn't chase cold affection. He reads the signs and adjusts. He doesn't lower his standards just to stay in the game. Because here's the truth. If she wants you, you'll know it. You won't be questioning every interaction. You won't feel like you're walking on eggshells every time you get close. Her energy will match yours. Her body will respond to yours. Affection won't feel like a negotiation. It will flow naturally. So if she's avoiding touch, affection, or even being physically near you, stop making excuses. You don't need to convince her. You don't need to try harder. You need to respect yourself enough to walk away. Because the right woman, she won't just allow your touch, she'll welcome it. And if you're not getting that, then you're not the one she truly wants. Period. Here's the uncomfortable truth. When a woman isn't interested in you, you don't need to ask her why. She's already told you with her actions. Too many men stay stuck in situations where the signs are clear, but they refuse to see them. They hold on to hope, ignore their gut, and accept breadcrumbs of attention in place of genuine interest. But that only leads to frustration, self-doubt, and wasted time. A woman who wants you will show it. You won't be stuck wondering. Her words, her energy, her behavior, it will all align. And when it doesn't, that's your cue to walk away with your pride intact, because nothing kills attraction faster than a man who refuses to respect himself. Let this sink in. The fastest way to gain a woman's respect is to stop tolerating her disinterest. You don't chase someone who's backing away. You don't beg for attention, affection, or time. You observe, you decide, and you move. That's masculine energy. That's leadership. So now, ask yourself, have you been ignoring the signs? Have you been accepting lukewarm treatment in the name of potential? Drop a comment below and let me know your story. I read them and I reply. You're not alone in this, and sometimes all it takes is a shift in perspective to take your power back. And remember, a woman can only fear losing you if she knows you're capable of walking away. So carry yourself like a man who can, and she'll feel it every time.